Hello and welcome to another class with Kids on the Green. Today we're making a simple lunch, delicious for the family, which is meatballs, which we will fry first, then cook in some tomato sauce, and some pasta to make a pasta and meatball dish sprinkled with some Parmesan cheese. So shall we look at our ingredients, what we need? So we have 450 grams, a pound of mince. We are going to add a little bit of dried oregano, 1 clove of garlic, which we will chop, and a few mint leaves. I have more mint leaves here than we need for the mince because some of it is going to go into our sauce. Of course, as always, we're going to season our meatballs with salt and pepper. Now, for our sauce, we're going to need some onion, a couple of mint leaves that I will have chopped, and a tin of chopped tomato. And last, we're going to boil our pasta. We allow about 60 to 80 grams per person. I think that mince is enough for 3. So here we've got 200 grams of pasta, dried pasta, and some grated Parmesan cheese that we will sprinkle at the end on top. So let's cook. This is the meal we are making today. It's the pasta, meatballs in sauce, and cheese, grated cheese over it. Could be Parmesan or cheddar or a hard cheese that you like. We will start by chopping our mint. And remember how I showed you last time? We make this little roll, which we call a siphonade, which then helps us cook, and we place our finger behind the knife so we don't chop it, and we chop finely. We're not going to use all the mint for the mince. We will keep a little bit to use in our sauce. Now, you could use basil if you wanted to give it more an Italian flavor, but I like mint. So if we keep that there, and we put that in our bowl, we put the mince in our bowl, the oregano, and pepper and salt. So what we do with the garlic, to help us chop it easier, we normally place a big blade like this on top, and we push with all our strength. That's it. And now it is easier to peel, you see? This is a big clove. Maybe we don't use all of it, but we will still chop it. We chop it first in long, narrow bits like that. You might want to get your sous chefs to help you with this if you cannot handle a big knife. Best to be safe. I think this is enough because that was a humongous garlic clove. And now we massage. And we massage. The more we massage the mince, the more it will be mixed with all the other ingredients, but also the more our little meatballs will stay stuck together. This is such a lovely feeling. It's like making bread dough. There's nothing like getting your hands stuck in what you do in the kitchen. And now we take little bits of mince in our hands. You really want balls as big as this, and we want them to be similar in size because that way they will cook the same way, all of them. because if you have some small ones and then you've got some bigger ones, well, the small ones may be overcooked or the bigger ones may be undercooked. And we use now all our mix to make our meatballs. And these are all our meatballs done. So we will prepare ourselves now to fry them in some olive oil. Remember what I told you about the oil smoking a little bit when it's ready? And do you see how much oil I have in the pan? Quite a bit, because we need to almost deep fry them. We're not deep frying them, but we do need them to cook both sides. So we need quite a bit of olive oil in our pan. And the heat needs to be high to start with, to create a crust around our meatballs so that they retain all the moisture inside them and all the flavor. In a minute, we are going to reduce the heat of the oil a little bit because we don't want them to cook too quickly. And now we wait for them to brown on one side, and we'll turn them the other side, and we will keep turning them and cooking them for about 3 to 4 minutes. So we can start turning them, because you see they're browning on one side. Don't forget, they will also cook a little bit in our sauce. Sometimes we need to be a little bit patient when we cook, particularly with olive oil, because hot oil can be quite dangerous. It can burn us quite a lot. So gently does it. Again, you might want to shape the meatballs yourselves. Make all the little balls to help the adult that is with you, and then perhaps let them do the frying. But you watch and you learn, so you know when it's the right temperature to put them in, or how well cooked we need them. You can still learn quite a lot by watching. See how the oil splashes? So you need to stand a little bit further back from the oil when you work with frying things, so you don't burn yourself. They look great. We're going to have a very tasty lunch. We need to watch them and keep turning them. Sometimes you have hot areas in your pan and maybe some meatballs get cooked more than others. So keep a watchful eye. They're getting there. Almost done. We will now remove them from the oil. Drain them on some kitchen paper. And next we will make our tomato sauce to drop them in. Okay. We can turn it off. Use a big slotted spoon or something like this to shake off the excess oil. And our meatballs are cooked. Now what we've got here is a pot of water which we are bringing up to temperature because we are going to be cooking our pasta, and another pot with a little bit of olive oil, a couple of tablespoonfuls, into which we're going to be making our sauce. And in order to make our sauce, we need our chopped onion. This is half an onion that you can see. Again, if not comfortable with a big knife, you know by now, call the sous chef. I wish I had one. All I have is a camera person. And what a great job he's doing. So we chop this. The onion will give our sauce a lot of flavor, so we want it. Enough. Will our oil, because I had it on, is warm enough to put the onion. We don't want to burn the onion. We want to sweat it. We want to cook it gently before we add our tomatoes and the meat. Patient sometimes with some things, because if you burn the onion, for example, it will be very bitter in the taste. So we let it cook. Our water is warming up. Remember, we always start with a little bit of salt in our water when we cook rice and pasta. Our onion is getting there. And turn it up a little bit now. I will open our can of tomatoes. And they can go in. Want all this flavor that is in the can. So what I always do is I add a little bit of water, swirl it around, and it that goes as well. Ready for recycling. And we let that cook for a little bit. We will also season it with salt and pepper, because remember, we need to season every element of our food. What I will do is I will switch plates, because this one is hotter, so we want our water to boil quickly. while our tomato is cooking. And we're ready to put our pasta in. Now, if you wanted to add more flavor to your tomato sauce, you can add a little bit of stock, like I have here, or a stock cube, or nothing, because actually there's a lot of flavor there already. I'm going to use this, but you don't have to. And because I'm going to use it, I'm going to add a little bit of water to melt it. And with our mint, we will use it right at the end because we don't want it to disappear and we like the color of it, so we want to see it. If it's basil, it's very sensitive. Again, you add it at the end. Don't put it in too early. In go our meatballs. And we let them cook a little bit longer together with the tomato sauce. Now it's perfect. So in they go. And again, if you remember, I said that as soon as we drop rice or pasta in very hot water, just give it a good stir. I think our meatballs are perfect, so we will turn them off. And what we'll now do is add a bit of our mint or basil, whatever you're using. Our pasta shouldn't take long. I think our pasta is now cooked. It's been cooking for 4 or 5 minutes. We don't want it to be totally melted. So I'll just drain it and come back. So we are ready to serve now. We put our pasta on the plate we're using. On top of that, we put our lovely, delicious meatballs in the sauce. If you want to hold back some mint or basil, whatever you're using, and sprinkle over them, they would look pretty. We want to use all the sauce because this has a lot of flavor. And all that is left to do is for us to sprinkle them with lots of yummy, lovely cheese. Lunch ready! Kali όρεξη in Greek. It means bon appetit. And see you next time. Bye!